Hello everyone, Mark at Service and Sync here. I'm going to go over how to create an appointment and add it to the schedule. Before we add an appointment, there are 4 things that you must have first, so let's verify that we have them. The first thing we need to make sure is that we have a staff user account. Go to the Staff, View Staff section of the main sidebar menu. Once the page loads, check to make sure the list is not empty. If the list is empty, then you will need to first add a staff user. Click the green Add Staff button, which will bring you to the Add Staff page. There is a help video and documentation there to guide you through that process. Next, we need to check to make sure we have a team. Go to the Teams, View Teams section of the main sidebar menu. Once the page loads, check to make sure the list is not empty. If the list is empty, then you will need to first add a team. Click the green Add Team button, which will bring you to the Add Team page. There is a help video and documentation there to guide you through that process. Now, we'll check to make sure we have a customer user account with an address. Go to Customers, View Customers section of the main sidebar menu. Once the page loads, check to make sure the list is not empty and at least one of the entries has an address. If you see customer accounts without an address, you can add the address by editing the customer account. To do that, click either the text in the list or the green pencil icon. From the Edit Customer page, you can scroll down to the bottom and add an address. If you don't have any customers in the list, then you will need to add one with an address. Click the green Add Customer button, which will bring you to the Add Customer page. There is a help video and documentation there to guide you through that process. Once again, make sure you specify an address for the new customer you are adding. Finally, we need to check that there is at least one service or package. Go to the Settings, Packages and Pricing section of the main sidebar menu. So navigate under the Settings section to Packages and Pricing. Make sure the list is not empty. If the list is empty, then you will need to first add a package. Click the green Add a Package or Service button, which will bring you to the Add a Package or Service form. There's a help video and documentation there to guide you through that process. Now that we've made sure all 4 things are set properly, we are ready to add an appointment. In the Customer field, you will select a customer and their corresponding address by clicking on the drop-down menu and typing their name or address. You can also scroll through the list to find their name and address. Simply click the specific customer's address to select it for this appointment. The single package option means that only one package type is used for this appointment. This is the option you want selected if you are adding a one-time appointment or a recurring appointment that will always be the same service or package. The alternating packages option allows you to add multiple packages to the package list. Each occurrence in the appointment series will have the next package type in the list. Once it hits the end of the list, it will restart at the first item and continue. I'll go into more details on that later when we get to that part of this video. For our first example, let's start with single package. For package, choose the package or service for this appointment. This should be a package you've already created in the Settings, Packages, and Pricing section of the website. If there is no definitive value predefined in the package settings, then you should be able to set the appointment duration and/or price here. If the package you selected has a preset duration and/or price, then those values will be automatically filled in. The discount field is used for specials or promotions that you may run from time to time. As a side note, discounts will show up on invoices, so your customers will see the discount you've entered. If you are creating a recurring appointment, then it should be noted that any discount entered during this step will apply to all future appointments occurrences in the series as well. If you have something like an introductory offer, say $10 off the first appointment, then leave the discount blank because you will need to edit just that first occurrence in the schedule later individually. More can be found about editing single appointments in appointment series in our help section of the View Schedule page. If the duration and price are not editable on this page, that means they are predefined by the package, but you will have the opportunity to edit those in the next step. Now that I've showed you how to set up a single package appointment, let me go back and show you how to set up alternating packages. To set up the list of appointments that should alternate as each occurrence in the appointment series progresses, select the Alternating Packages option, then select the first package from the list of packages below, just like the step before in the single packages. Set the duration and/or price if applicable, set the discount if applicable, but here you will click the blue Add Package button. You should now see that package added to the table with the list of packages. Repeat the package selection process for as many different packages as are needed for this recurring appointment series. Note that the first package in the list will be used to start this appointment, so if needed, you can simply click and drag the packages in the package list to rearrange to the correct order. If you need to delete a package from your list, you can click the red X at the far right of the packages row. This will remove the package from the list. Once the appointment series has recurred through all the packages in the list, the next package will reset back to the first package and continue back down the list. Now I'll move into schedule details. Preferred date. Here you will select the day that you prefer the appointment or appointment series to begin. This is just a starting point of the scheduler view, and you will be able to fine-tune your starting date and time on the next step. So set this as a rough starting point to minimize having to go very far in the schedule to find where you actually want to place the appointment. Next is team selection. By default, this is set to any team, no preference. Leaving this as is will automatically assign this appointment to a team or teams that have availability based on your team split or fill setting. And that setting can be adjusted or changed in the Settings Schedule section of the platform. If you already know which team or teams you want to assign this appointment, you can remove the Any Team No Preference option and instead select the individual team or teams you want assigned. The Hide Excluded Teams Availability option, if selected, will exclude teams that have the Exclude from Customer Availability schedule enabled or set to Yes in their team settings. You can modify this setting in the Edit Teams menu, which you can get to by going to the Teams, View Teams section of the main sidebar menu. We are now at the Comments section. These are comments related specifically to this appointment or appointment series. Anything entered here is for the business and will be visible to staff but not visible to customers. So this is a great spot to put specific appointment comments that staff who are going to the appointment should know. An example would be, extra care when cleaning the master bedroom carpet. The carpet is worn and can be easily damaged. Comments by customer. If the customer uses the web portal, they will see and be able to edit or adjust any comments here. This section should be used if the customer has something like a rolling garage code that they need to edit themselves weekly, or if the customer has their own specific comments, you can add them here on their behalf, and they would also be able to view and modify them on their own later if they have access to the web portal. The last section is Blockout Unavailability. This is used at the next step of adding the appointment. You will be shown availability to place the appointment on the schedule based on the appointment's duration and pooled availability of the team's schedule. The Unavailable Teams and Drive Time Estimates option will automatically block out the schedule where there is no availability from the teams and will also calculate drive time between other appointments already on the schedule and block out times that would not be possible to make in time between appointments due to estimated drive time with historical traffic data. Drive time back to the office in conjunction with business hours is also calculated here, so appointments cannot start too late if the drive time from the appointment back to the office is too long. You can offset this by changing the plus time business hours and for staff to be back at office setting in the Settings Schedule section of the main sidebar menu, specifically in the Staff and Schedule Settings section of that page. The Unavailable Teams option is used exactly as the Unavailable Teams and Drive Time Estimates option, except it removes drive time blockouts, meaning that you could potentially schedule 2 appointments together to start back to back, even if they are 20 to 30 minutes driving apart. If you have a big enough arrival window, this may not be a problem for you. So make sure to double check your arrival window settings in the Settings Schedule Customer section of the Schedule Settings page. So use this option if you would like the blockout to be based on only team schedule availability. No blockout. Use this option if you are already aware of your schedule and know what date and time you would like this job placed, regardless of team's availability or any drive times. This option gives you the most control of the schedule, but has potentials for conflicts, so be careful when booking appointments with this option. Once everything is set, click Submit. This will load the next page where we can put the job onto the schedule. We're now at the Add Appointment page. The schedule should load to the preferred date you entered in the previous page, but note the appointment may be automatically placed on the first available time slot. So be extra careful to make sure that the appointment is in fact on the date you want. You can move the appointment start date by either clicking on the white space in the calendar schedule or by dragging the Your Appointment block to somewhere on the schedule. If you want to move another time range, you can do so with the navigation buttons and then click on any of the available white space in the calendar to place the appointment on that date. Once you've placed the appointment on the exact start day and time you want, you should review the appointment details in the appointment box. Double-check the start time, customer address, and the packages for this appointment. Keep in mind if you have alternating packages and this is a recurring appointment, it will only show the first package from the package list in this summary. Check the duration, price, and comments by the customer. This page does not show the regular comments that were entered in the last step though. Only the comments by customer will be visible and editable on this page. So if you need to edit the regular comments, you will need to go back to the previous page to do so. Any editable details will have a pencil icon near them and will be underlined. You can click them to make changes to those details. This brings us to the final step where we set the recurring options for recurring appointments. If this is a one-time appointment, then just ensure that the repeats field is set to no repeat one-time appointment. For any appointment which will recur, start by selecting the type of recurrence, either repeating daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. For our example, we will choose weekly. Now we will select the frequency, being every X amount of days, weeks, months, or years. For our example, we will select 2 so that this job will occur every 2 weeks. The ends options lets us choose if and or when this recurring appointment series will end and no longer appear on the schedule. The never option will keep this recurring appointment series going indefinitely. The after occurrences option lets you enter after how many occurrences the appointment series will end. The on option allows you to set a specific end date where the appointment series will end. Keep in mind that this doesn't necessarily mean that the appointment will occur on this end date. It is simply saying no more appointments on or after this date. The last section is the summary of the recurrence. It's very important to review and make sure that recurrence options are set up exactly how you want them. Go ahead and give everything a quick look over to make sure it's right, and then place the appointment on the schedule by clicking the green Submit button. You will be redirected back to the View Schedule page so you can verify the appointment was placed correctly by navigating to the date that you scheduled the appointment start day and time. You will see it on the schedule. If this is a recurring appointment, you can also see upcoming appointments whenever the next recurrence should be. You have now successfully added an appointment to your schedule. If you need more help with these, feel free to open a live chat at the bottom right of the Service and Sync page, or simply give us a call at the phone number at the top right of the Service and Sync page, and we'll be glad to walk you through it and answer any questions you might have.